That's right, Kari. You are indeed the first.
Number one.
Numero uno. Un, I believe is French. I'll have to consult Frenchie on that one. But yes, welcome to SHL Tonight. We just had the expansion draft lottery, and we still don't know what it means.
I'm so glad I know exactly where I don't know where I'm picking.
Oh, I love the wrinkle that the head office added to allow the winner of the expansion draft lottery, who is the Denver Glacier Guardians, to choose where they're going to pick, which has repercussions in two separate drafts, by the way, the expansion draft and the SHL entry draft. So while we await the decision from Rashford and Trips on where the wonderful Denver franchise is going to pick, we don't have a lot to go on there.
Well, what we can do is we can assume that Rashford will do what he thinks is best for his team, and the following teams will follow suit. So I think that's probably the best insight we can give.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, Hip is wearing indeed a Nashville Sound jersey.
That's a Habs jersey. I do want to say I am wearing it for Yabis. Yabis, my best friend. If you don't know Yabis, Yabis is Flu's son. Shout out Yabs. But yeah, he got his first Leaf jersey today, so I wanted to educate him on what a good jersey looks like. And it's not my fault.
So why did you wear that?
He really wanted to wear, he really wanted to use the Montreal Canadiens colors. He's always been a big
black and red.
fan.
Note, black is definitely a very prominent Montreal Canadiens color.
No, I think that's blue. If I last I checked,
it's black. You're blind. That's definitely black.
No, that's a different thing. You're on a whole other grind here.
Yeah. So Cowbutch is in here. Bald Man. He's here. Yeah.
Cowbutch has the most beat up slippers of all time. That's what they're known for, actually.
And the greatest render in the SHL.
Fucking Chapel Roan with the Lane Hudson. Can't do it. I was on YouTube because my Twitch name, no one would know who I was. So I just stuck to the YouTube. That's why.
Oh, Hip's so wise and smart.
That's what happens when your hairline's receding. The brain gets room to expand.
Yeah, that team must be still in the playoffs, right, Hif?
Fuck you, Jeffy. Fuck you.
It was cool to see him for a little bit there. Caps move on. What a surprise. So welcome to SHL Tonight. As you guys can obviously tell, if you haven't been here before, we interact with the chat. Throw in your comments. We're happy to interact with you, answer your questions. We've got some good agenda items today. We already briefly touched on the expansion draft, which we are waiting on the final results for.
The information we know.
I don't think they've updated a thread post yet on it, have they?
No.
I don't necessarily expect it.
What I do think we're going to do is once the protection lists are revealed, we're going to have a stream where we just list everyone who your team didn't love you enough to protect you.
That's true.
And just kind of call you like the unloved players.
And if you are exposed and you're interested in joining SHL Tonight for a real-time expose to talk about why you feel like your team didn't choose to protect you, we would love to have you on.
Your GM and just talk about the tampering they've done behind the scenes, all of it.
Yo, Chris, I don't even know who you are. Don't even know who you are.
You know Chris. He's the Minnesota player.
Oh, that Chris. Okay, yeah.
I think.
Boston ended up with 7th overall and lost. Montreal ended up with much worse than 7th overall and lost. So therefore,
we made the playoffs, though.
I think Boston wins. Boston wins.
We have Ivan. You got nothing. We
have pasta.
Everyone has pasta. It's not hard.
You don't have pasta. You
don't. Go to the grocery store. There's literally
it's inferior pasta.
Hundreds of kinds of pasta.
Yeah, you're getting crap dinner. I have pasta at home. Boston is going to get a steal at 7.
There are no steals. This draft sucks.
Correct. This is the best draft that there has been in like 20 years for sure. Very deep, very deep. We have Ivan. Hey, it wasn't a sweep. That's true, Cowbutch. That's true.
That's all I wanted. I wanted one game.
NHL in my SHL podcast match. Sorry.
No regrets.
SHL Tonight therapy session for all exposed.
CBT style, baby.
Yeah. I don't know what you expected, guys. We got two big NHL fans here. We're going to talk a little NHL from time to time.
What's the NHL?
It's a National Hockey League, I think.
I was talking about the Victoire, PWHL.
Oh, you know what I think we should start with instead of power rankings?
Anything else?
Let's have some literal fun. Bytor and Augie with the Nap Time podcast.
Incredible. I made their version by my avatar.
It's so good. I think I might do the same thing. So if you didn't know, Augie had no idea about any of the 4 expansion franchises. Didn't know brands, logos, colors, or even names. So what Augie did, if you didn't know, Augie is it's No Joe is Augie's player. She plays on the Winnipeg Aurora right now. Augie turned that into an idea. What if she could draw logos with only knowing the team name and the colors? And then she could draw them again with the description of what the logo looked like. This is available to you to watch live, which I would highly recommend to everyone watching. It's fantastic entertainment. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and pull the images out of the podcast from the Bytor article on the website. You're able to look at this yourself. It is fantastic. So, yeah, fresh. This podcast was so good. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, Akari, I can't believe people actually watch hockey. That's wild. I know. What a surprise here that hockey fans. I just hit the lever on my chair and it made me drop low. Give me a quick moment. There we go. That's better. All right. So let me go ahead and share my screen and we're going to go through this. Here we go. So here we are. The Nashville Sound pre-description. So by pre-description, we're talking not knowing like anything other than the team name and the colors. And honestly, we're not far off here. This is my brand. So
this was the Troubadours, wasn't it?
Basically, but Troubadours was blue and yellow to
start
I know.
With.
But so yeah, Nashville Sound. Yeah, guitar with the sound waves. Yeah, it's pretty good. And then she got the description of the logo from Bytor
and nailed it.
A sitting on quicksand. You hate to see it. Yeah, dude, I just fell down pretty quick there. It was a little alarming. And after the description, we've got my wonderful little kitty cat with the stars and the sound wave. This is fantastic. I think this is going to be maybe an avatar at some point or something for me. But yeah, fantastic work here by Augie in this podcast. Love it. Next up, we have the Madison Valkyrie.
So I was watching this live. She had no idea what a Valkyrie was.
Okay.
Apparently her best friend in real life is like a really big mythology fan, so she's going to hate her for this. But she thought it was a bird person is what she thought a Valkyrie was.
Yeah, so Fresh said at the least a Discord emo or a sticker or something.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's a snake.
I like the word.
It's dead, as you can see too from the crossed eyes.
Ain't no way. So a harpy, Trip says.
We went the harpy route. Yeah,
I love that. That's great. So moving on, after description of the logo,
kind of actually nailed it.
This is pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty impressive there. So well done by Augie on the Madison logo here with the cursive name on the top and everything. That's impressive. Nobody knows cursive anymore.
No, all these kids.
I'm glad that she put the color palette on the right-hand side again.
Yeah. Well, she did it for all of them. She just covered it up on yours because she filled the background. It was there originally if you watch the stream, see?
Excellent. Hey, welcome to Denver. The Glacier Guardians. Oh, that's great. I mean, honestly, it's a good diverse skin tone for the character. That's great.
I also think, there's actually a glacier here instead of a mountain.
Yeah, he's standing in front of a glacier, protecting it. That's perfect. And I also
you could definitely see like the Titanic's coming, and he's like, "Leave my glacier alone."
I like his little cap, his little skull cap.
Yeah,
There.
that's
Pretty
like
good.
a RuneScape, like a medium helm.
Cowbutch asks, Hif, which is more cursed, the harpy or my Hodag interpretation?
The Hodag interpretation. The horny, angry Hodag who doesn't know if he's mad or turned on. That's the cursed one.
Diversity win. Let's go. Turn it into Glacier Lurk freshness. So good. I do also, as a larger rotund individual, I like that we're having representation of the fat guys. Like, look at that belly he's got there. Like, that's pretty impressive. He's not a trim fit fella. He's got a little
I think
little tum-tum.
HBO's Game of Thrones, Robert Baratheon really opened up a lot of doors. Yeah.
Yeah. I need the breastplate stretcher. Oh yeah, the Denver Glacier Guardian will need the breastplate stretcher for sure. All right, so Augie gets the description, and she gets another take at it.
Nails
it. That
nails it.
Excellent.
Just missed the pointed helmet, and that's it. That's the only thing I can see missing.
I mean, she's gonna hear from Kelowna's lawyers, but
oh yeah, wearing armor, unbelievable. This is unacceptable. The helmet. The hair is under the helmet. Doesn't count.
No,
we've seen under. I've had a look under the helmet, and he has hair. It doesn't count, sadly.
Now, I will tell you that I am ecstatic to see and to share the brand for the Cincinnati Six. What is Augie gonna do for the Cincinnati Six with those colors? Like, what would you do if you were asked to design a logo with that?
I just look up the flag for the city of Toronto and just throw that up. No, I'd probably just put it number 6. Honestly, I have no artistic bone in my body.
Well, let's see what Augie did. Yeah, there's the number 6 with a lot of hockey skates.
Yep, and hockey sticks.
And hockey sticks.
When I was watching, I said it was the Cincinnati deal with the Devils.
But there's 3 too many 6s.
It's a lot of deals, man. It's a lot of deals.
Honestly, that's probably what I would do if I were in her shoes, for sure. But I mean, that's the kind of cool thing about the creative, like abstract brands. I mean, there's a lot of room for interpretation, right? So
why does it look like the Expos logo on the right?
It does look like the Expos.
Bring them back. That's the logo. Confirmed. Robert Manfield. Let's go. Is that his? I don't know the commissioner.
Yeah, I think like Manfred or something like that. I don't know. Jess says it's 2 separate curses, one for home and one for away.
It's not a curse. It's a Faustian bargain. They're getting something in return. Clearly they fucked something up though, because they got the last pick in the lottery, so something went wrong.
Oh, brother. That's fun. So, and now Augie gets the explanation or the description of the logo. That's also pretty good. That's really good. Yeah. That's a lot better than what I would do. Like, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And it still looks like an Expos logo.
Hey, people love the Expos. Vladdy Guerrero Sr., come on.
So definitely recommend you to check out that. I'm going to put it in the chat as well for you to go ahead and grab. So that's on both YouTube and Twitch. So go ahead and take a look and give them some love. That was a really cool podcast that they did. I'm going to stop sharing and put it back over here. We're going to go ahead and jump over to our power rankings for this evening. Now that we've already spent a quarter of our time talking about Augie's awesome drawings. So don't hesitate. Once again, guys, reminder here, if you have any questions or anything you want us to go over, do not hesitate to jump in and ask. With that said, let's go ahead. If anything you want to touch on before we jump into power rankings?
No, we can get to the power rankings. I mean, got to know about the power.
So here we are. Power rankings. So congratulations to the Calgary Dragons, who retained the top spot in the power rankings this week. They were there. Oh, I don't want to share this. Hold on.
You're leaking our info. Unbelievable.
That's all my data from Slicer. Shout out Slicer for your time and effort putting into our wonderful power rankings. So just give me a quick moment. We will be good to go over this stuff. So last week, if you have the stuff pulled up, by the way.
Yeah, I got the stuff here.
All
I
right.
do have a question though. If Slicer is doing the power rankings, is this now technically like HO's favorite teams week to week?
Yeah, these are the official HO favorite teams for sure. SHL sanctioned favorite teams. You have the power according to HO. So that's true. Thanks for clarifying it. That's great. That's
You're
the
welcome.
attention we need on this podcast for sure. So yeah, Calgary, you are the top seed. Have any notes on the Calgary Dragons this week?
Yeah, so my understanding is that they've won more games than the other teams have won, which means their point totals are higher than the other teams, which means they're probably a pretty good team of late. I do think that if you look at it, the West has been very strong. I think like fourth in the West is seventh in the league or something. It's been a very tight race in that, specifically their division, not just the conferences as well. But Calgary's put up fantastic numbers. Froya Solberg is leading the league in goals by like 12. I haven't checked after Friday, I think, but they've been on an absurd run, and they look deserving of the number one slot.
Yeah, agreed. And one other thing that's important to note is that this week we are adding the movement in the power rankings, which is kind of cool. So we're going to notate if a team moves up or down or is new to the power rankings. So Calgary was our number one team last week as well. So it is kind of cool that they are going to go ahead and stay on top of the number one spot here. So number two, we have the Atlanta Inferno, who are going to move up one spot from 3 to 2 from last week. Hiff, what do you have to say about Atlanta?
Yeah, so they're coming back to the 2 slot. I think they were in the 2 3 weeks ago, or the 1. They've been at the top all season. Best team in the East. That's been pretty evident. Very strong roster. They're a very strong defensive team. They may not score as many goals as Calgary, but they've had 12 wins in the past, like back-to-back weeks, showing a very strong performance and consistency, which is also important.
Best of the East so far. Next up, we have the Seattle Argonauts with 65 points, who are, actually behind in the standings from our fourth place team. But Seattle slides from 2 to 3. Hips, what do you have on Seattle?
Yeah, Seattle and Calgary are in a very similar situation. They're young teams who are just edging into their peak, and they look fantastic with the work and time they've put in. The effort's clearly showing off. They had a bit of a weaker week. They won just 8 games this week, but the only thing that didn't drop them further is that Tampa Bay had a weaker schedule, which is why you see them in the 3 slot. They're not as strong offensively, but they're one of the best defensive teams of the league with a solid offense still.
Yeah, OP Squid jumps in the chat and they say Seattle had a down week, but I like our chances against any team in the playoffs. And they also said we are like the Bruins. We beat good teams and then lose to the teams we should beat. I don't know what to say about that, Squid.
I would just like to clarify his player name is Squidwardo Tentacles, so we can't take any Bruins praise seriously with that kind of name.
It's a great name. It's a great name.
I love
but it's not. It's an indirect insult as well. So it's not just praise. All right. So moving on, we have at number 4 the Tampa Bay Barracuda with a record of 34, 12, and 3 for a total of 71 points. What do you have on the CUDA?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe John Brown plays for the Barracuda, so I just wanted to shout him out on a great career as he did retire. I believe it was today or yesterday. A fantastic career he had in Tampa, drafted in '68, and he killed it for the team, who's been on a roll the past couple seasons. I believe they were back-to-back cup finals contenders. They lost in the finals postseasons, but they've done a great job. 12-win week, same as Atlanta, but they had a very easy schedule, facing majority bottom 5 teams and low back-to-backs. But they took advantage. They, put the goals up. Very strong offensive team, and I think you'll see them continue to roll as the season progresses.
Such great insight from him. That's why I have him here. This guy is just sharp as a tack. Just fantastic.
Not reading Slicer's notes at all.
No, it has nothing to do with Slicer's insights or analysis. Moving on, number 5, the Los Angeles Panthers, the team that just will not die, with a record of 27-17 and 7 for a total of 61 points. Looks like they're on a bit of a heater here. Hiff, what do you have on the Panthers?
It's like when you have a group of old men who just really don't want to be relegated to going home and spending time with their families. So through the power of friendship, they stick together, even though they're technically past their time, and they keep putting up points and winning. Los Angeles has been fantastic. They have a positive record with no change in the standings, despite facing a tough schedule, showing they're about on track with where they should have been. Strong goals for, but they also give up a lot of goals, so it's a fire wagon hockey in LA, and they're still winning games. You got to give them the respect that's due.
Chris says San Francisco is the only reason Kuda doesn't have 2 cups right now. I mean, yeah.
Other teams is the only reason other teams don't have cups. That's a good point. Very valid.
True, Chris. Thank you. John Brown did nothing wrong.
Which John Brown? I'm sure there's like a million of them.
That's a very generic name, but yeah, that guy didn't, I'm sure. Get ready for Winnipeg to dominate the power rankings once Casanova hits the big league. We'll see it, Cowbutch. We'll see. And yeah, Slicer with some fantastic insight here. Love you, Slicer. Thanks for your wonderful help on the power rankings. They find their wins in the balding hairlines.
It works. If your team is struggling in the SHL, shave your head. I'm telling you. 9 out of 10 times.
You'll get an expansion team immediately.
100%.
Next up, we have the Edmonton Blizzard, who have moved up from 7 to 6 this week with a record of 28, 17, and 3.
I'm not going to look at Slicer's note on this one. I'm going to point out the aberrations that are causing this team to stay afloat. And it's been honestly really fun to see. Justin Time is somehow immortal, leading the league in GSAA as I think he's at like 1,300 TB, 1,200 TB or something, coming off of a McBride win last season. He's been fantastic there. Edmonton as a team for the past 4 or 5 seasons have been known for hanging him out to dry. But not him specifically, but their goaltender. But with him in place, he's handled the high opportunity chances and definitely played fantastic. They also have of the top 3 shooting percentage players, they have 2. Dominic Winters and Gwendolyn Tellen are both in the top 3 for shooting percentage. They're centers on the team. They're shooting 28+%. So just over 1 in every 4 shots going in. Very sustainable success. But it might have been a factor in a shot quality discussion. But yeah, they've really run off having an absolutely hot goalie who stops the big chances, and just getting really good shots that find their way in.
Great, love that. Any thoughts from you now that you've touched on all of Slicer's thoughts?
Oh yeah. Let's see my thoughts here. We won 11 games despite a very strong schedule. Another week like this could have them go in the top 5, I think.
I agree. Thanks for that, If. Moving on, we have the New England Wolfpack at 7, who have slipped a spot back with a record of 31, 16, and 3 for 65 points. What do you got in the Pack?
Yeah, so the Pack, they had a 9-win week, but they didn't face a very strong strength of schedule. We might bring Slicer on sometime to touch on how he decides the strength of schedule rankings. But that's something we can maybe get him on to bring up. Good enough to stop from dropping too far. They only went down a spot, swapping with Edmonton. But given the schedule, they probably could have, done a little bit better and shown a bit more. They maintain the top 5 in the standings with the second best goals for, but they need to get their goals against down to hit that elite status.
Great. And as is tradition, Boston appears above Montreal here, with Montreal finishing 8th. Montreal Patriots, who are new to our power rankings, Congratulations to the Patriots to jump into our top 10. They are here in spot number 8 with a record of 27-20-2 for a total of 56 points. What do you got on Montreal?
It's about damn time.
For real.
They should have been, I'm sure a bunch of things happened, but like for my estimation, they should have been one of, if not the best teams in the league. Bit of a down year to start, but they're picking it up very strong of late. Against Slicers. No, 13 win week to jump into the list. Not a very strong strength of schedule, but the rest of it, I think they won the most of all the teams we're seeing in this week, or tied Calgary, for 13 wins. Strong defense from Montreal, but they don't score enough, and it seemed to have held them back over the time.
13 weeks per
Yeah,
win.
this isn't Minnesota. That's my bad. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it's typical Montreal record, though. That makes sense. Moving on, we have the New Orleans Specters, who move up from 10th to 9th with a record of 28-18-3 for a total of 59 points. What do you got on the Specters, Hiv?
Yeah, the big jump of the entire one slot is attributed to their 11-win week. Similar strength of schedule to Montreal, which is why they're just behind them. Not a very strong strength of schedule, but the rest of the teams around the league here, around this spot, they didn't win as much. So they did what they should have with the week they were given, but they didn't show anything, special because they weren't facing a very strong schedule this week, which led them to beating towards the bottom despite having such a good week.
And our final place in the power rankings for this week, the Philadelphia Forge are a new entrance into that place. Number 10 with 25-23-3 and 53 points. Hip, what do you have on the Forge?
The Philadelphia Forge, they've had 2 solid weeks of 11 wins last week and 10 this week. So staying very consistent in their win totals week to week. Lets them break into the top 10 ahead of any other teams. The positive goal differential, but it's only +1. So they're very steady staying in that middle of the pack team, which a number 10 ranking seems to show. The goals for is solid, but they're giving up the bushels of goals.
Bushels of goals.
Bushels of goals.
When you want to collect some goals. I mean, if you're ready to harvest, you want to see Philadelphia come in. But hey, there's still
you get the combine in, you just harvest those bushels of goals.
That's right. It's just like Stardew Valley, just get ready to harvest them and sell them. Good night, love. Sorry, my daughters are going to bed. All right.
We can have our honorable mention as well.
Yes. Yeah. If you want to give shout out to our honorable mention this week, that would be great.
Just missing. We had the Winnipeg Aurora. They had a negative week, only scoring 7 wins, but it's enough to keep them in that realm as Chicago fell even harder. So they're hanging on. Subpar week for what they've been doing so far, but they need to get back on track, and hopefully the acquisition of Betsy Nickelback can help them do that.
Yeah, of all the teams that missed it, Winnipeg on top. That's right, Kari. That is indeed correct. So let's go ahead and move on. So thank you again just want to give our roses to Slicer for their effort putting in the analysis for our power rankings. So really appreciate Slicer for that. So big time shout out on that front. So let's go ahead and stop sharing. And we're going to move on to our next segment. So we have another comment in here. And it's not a question. It's Slicer literally just smiling. So that's
as he deserves.
Honestly, he does deserve that. That's fantastic. All right. So I want to go ahead and spend some time here to talk about the branding of the newest team in the SHL that was unveiled. We haven't had a chance to really talk about the Cincinnati Six here on SHL Tonight. So let's go ahead and share screen again. And there we go. And I'm going to get rid of Slicer's comment. Sorry. So here we have it. The final brand on the very last moment, technically after the last moment, for brand reveals.
Posted at.
Yeah, so it was still pending HO approval. I just hit that lever again and I fell in the quicksand. So here we have it. We have the Cincinnati 6, which basically looks like Augie, what her design was.
Nailed it.
Like,
absolutely nailed it.
Absolutely nailed it. So the cool thing about this brand is that it takes a wonderful representation of the 6 major bridges that are connecting into Cincinnati, Ohio, and it is a representation of that. And I think what I really like is that alternate logo, that vertical logo with
the goalie mask kind of vibe.
The goalie mask. I mean, I don't know if I might be a little bit biased, but I could be wrong. That I really like goalie masks.
Yeah, it tracks. Yeah,
but yeah, I think that's a cool vibe. I really like.
That's the 6.
I didn't say 5. I said vibe.
Yeah, it's not the vibe. That's the 6.
Oh yeah, vibe. Yeah, good point. I mean, vibe is another great option here. It is the 6. You're right. I thought you said it's not the 5. I'm like,
what
are you talking about?
No, but what I like is that like a bridge represents like joining 2 sides of places over a river, right? So it's got like a bunch of different communities that are being connected and kind of embraces that connection. He's got all the list of bridges and the communities they're bringing back and why they're important. And I think that's really interesting and a unique vibe to approach a team.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of struggle a little bit sometimes with like the super abstract names, and that's like, I named my team the Nashville Sound, and that was actually a little bit of a difficult thing for me too, because I try to have something a little bit more tangible, and I also believe that there's too many like names in professional sports or just sports in general without like an S at the end of it, like the plural thing, but I eventually
like
found something. Yeah, but I actually think that this kind of works a bit. It does have like some MLS, like professional soccer feels to me a little bit, but
I don't know why, but I get baseball when I see it. But also like
baseball, yeah.
I think it's well done. I really like the details on the bridge itself.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to really kind of see how this brand. Yes, Ace the goalie. If you didn't know, I'm a goalie. Yeah, I play goalie.
The Pads podcast.
Yeah, I do. I'm a goalie. I have a Star Wars mask too. I should bring my Star Wars mask.
You should. Yeah,
it's Hoth, and you got like the AT.
That's pretty sick.
ATs, the AT-ATs,
AT-AT walkers. Yeah,
it's so good, dude. But I love the color scheme. I mean, nothing. I mean, the best expansion teams are red, white, and blue, as far as I'm concerned.
You know what's really original? If we take the most used colors in any form of media ever, throw them in there.
We should, yeah. I mean, honestly,
they're classic for a reason, which is fair because they work together so well.
They do.
So I can't say anything bad there.
I do feel like, and this is just me being biased, this is not a league official sanctioned opinion here. I feel like the jerseys are a little basic, but I like the way
jerseys are. I think it's that the homes are going to look like aways because the main color is white.
That's not even it for me. I feel like we're missing like additional piping and stuff and like additional colors. But I do like the waviness to represent the like the rivers that are there. I do like that. I think,
especially with the word mark, the logo is very large and speaks for itself, so it didn't need too much happening. I think it works.
Yeah, it is definitely a large logo there, but it's just very basic on the kits. I also don't like colored pants personally. This is just personal preference. I believe in the strength of black pants. It's just common. But the kits are pretty good. Yes, you came back to me with the goalie mask. Yes, I know. I have a tendency to do that from time to time. It's a little also interesting a little bit on the aways if they're all red. Like, what will they do when they're playing up?
It's like a color rush,
all red.
Well, they won't use them against an all red team, right?
So they'll use their home jerseys on the road?
Well, no, I assume they use the blue ones, right? I guess they can mix and match whatever color they need because you have a blue and a red. So
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you go too far back in the NHL history, and you have teams that were using
it's like
white at home.
2005. It's not that long ago.
I mean,
That's 20 years
that's
ago.
20
Jesus
years ago.
Christ.
That's 20 years, right? Like,
Somebody just dig my grave already. Fuck.
yeah, we're old, Hiff. So yeah, that'll be a little interesting. But I'm like, I look at this jersey, and I'm like, when I'm designing a jersey, and I'm not criticizing Seven. I do like the kit that he did here, but I would want more representation of that beautiful light blue that he has on the jersey outside of just the logo. It's not really represented too well, but I guess you
I mean,
get
it's
to see
represented
that.
there.
Oh yeah, on the other jersey for sure, but
Yeah, it becomes a tertiary, and I can get where he's going with it. I think it works.
Hif's being nice. He's being a good boy. I think the
I
brand
mean, my
itself is
my
really
big
cool.
anti-comment I've given is that I don't think white belongs on a home jersey. It's already the away jersey. I don't think mixing it up is something that makes sense to me. But I
Yeah.
think as it is, like the kit design looks well done, and it makes sense why he did it given the big logo. I think it speaks for itself, and you just kind of let it flow with that.
Yeah, it's no vibe.
I mean, I also see this is the Ohio flag here, I'm assuming, which means the waviness is fitting into the Ohio flag, which I like.
Yeah, I like that too. It makes sense. I like it. It's pretty classy. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing. We're gonna put it back over to us. And I wanted to get your thoughts.
You can't see because you don't have your glasses on. Is
You're
that
right. I'm
correct?
blind as hell. Yes. So I'm gonna get rid of my mask again. You should see me playing goalie. I'm blind. It's not great. I get like a sunburn from behind me from all the red lights going on.
Red light Rasicot.
I'm like Vessel Toskala out there. It's pretty good. All right. So next up we have I'm getting pinged in a lot of different places right this second, so that's fine.
Excellent.
So we have some jobs that are open. So let me just go ahead and pull those up.
I think it's mostly one job.
It's
nope,
yeah.
we do have another job actually. I should know. I put the hiring post up for it.
So let's go ahead and pull up the hiring posts. Not a lot going on in the chat right now. Where is everybody? Jeez. So we have the Edmonton Blizzard GM. Oh, that's not
and the
gonna
platoon
work.
co-GM.
I'm just gonna share my whole screen.
If you want to send some chicken tenders this way, Kari, I wouldn't complain.
I would love some chicken tenders. Yeah, so we have the Edmonton Blizzard GM job. So we're trying to highlight GM jobs to try to get some people in here that are interested in GMing. So just remember, if you're currently under contract with an SHL team other than Edmonton, please get explicit permission from your GM prior to applying.
Clarify, head GM. Your head GM.
That's correct. Yes, that's important. That's an important distinction. So Caliph is stepping down from the Edmonton Blizzard general manager role. So congrats to Caliph on a good little run there with Edmonton. Appreciate your time there, and it'll be very interesting to see who ends up getting that Edmonton GM job. As a reminder, head GM jobs and co-GM jobs are $8 million per season, as well as an off-season pass, which covers the championship and all-star weeks. So if you're ever considering maybe jumping in and doing a little bit of GMing, this may be a good opportunity for you to consider. I had to go get food. I was listening the entire time. Thank you, Cowbutch. Let's have a moment of silence for Cal.
Die.
He's still
dead.
no, he's not dead. He's fine. Cowbutch has mac and cheese now. That's great.
That's mac and cheese, actually.
Jeffy says it sounds like a good job for him.
When he saw it go up, he's like, "You should apply." And I was like, "You apply. I'll join you after. I promise."
All right. So we have other jobs, I believe, to talk about.
All-Star Committee head.
All-Star Committee head. The SMJHL All-Star Committee head. Hiff, why don't you talk about that job?
Yeah, basically, what all you have to do is kind of give them the like runway to vote on who makes the SMJHL All-Star team. Currently, the way they usually do it is, every team gets a player, and then you vote in the last players and have a set. I think it's like 3 remaining spots at the end to have like a fan vote. So you'd kind of set that up and encourage the discussions between the members of the committee and have them vote in the all-stars for the SMJHL. Highlight our newer users and the juniors.
Excellent. I think it's a wonderful job. Not seeing a whole lot.
You also, I know the person who had it before won't be there, but Farah Dian has offered to help. As
Great
well as
user.
Cracker could probably help as well. So you'll have help easing into the job and learning the ropes. It won't be throwing you to the wolves. Good luck. You'll have a segue in there.
Excellent. So Hiff, I think we should maybe touch on the entry draft rules. Don't you think that'll be fun?
I don't remember them.
So let's go ahead and pull the entry draft rules. We'll share those. Mocks are going to go crazy this season. So Jess on the 7th, so 3 days ago, announced that we have special one-time rules for the upcoming SHL entry draft. For this coming draft only, the rule or the order will be as follows. Picks 1 through 4 will be determined in the normal current manner. Points amassed after a team is eliminated from playoff contention, with first overall being awarded to the team with the most points earned after playoff elimination. Picks 5 through 8 will belong to the 4 expansion teams in reverse order of the position of the expansion draft. Picks 9 through 24 will be awarded in the normal/current manner. Following rounds will proceed in the same manner, with the exception of the expansion teams, which will reverse/snake in the expansion draft, i.e., 1, 2, 3, 4 in the first round, 4 through 2, 1 in the second round, and so on. And the big thing here is that they're going to be announcing some further changes in drafts that will be coming soon. These rules are exclusively for this upcoming entry draft. And if you have any questions, reach out to Jess or any member of head office. So, Hef, what are your thoughts on the expansion draft rules for this year? Or sorry, the entry draft rules for this year?
So my first thing I'll say is that when we first instituted the golden rule, wins after eliminated, they instituted it mid-season. So I'm glad that while it is an expansion GM, it might have been nice to be in the lottery. They didn't kind of make a mid-season change that might screw over other teams' plans or as they were going. They kept with the status quo and implemented us as best they could in that scenario, rather than kind of rock the boat and shake things up. I do think that discussing future changes means that it's maybe been acknowledged that the goal for stopping tanking, that this probably doesn't do it effectively, and that there's I think it's really hard to find a system where you can't gamify and try to go out of your way to increase your draft lottery odds. And I think that a lot of game theory rule is that any rational actor in a situation will do what take the most actions to increase their odds the best they can, and tanking in that strategy makes a lot of sense to get a higher draft pick. So I think that basically it's been acknowledged in my understanding, like my takeaway, that the current iteration of the rules doesn't fix the problem they had intended when they put it out.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, like, it's been something that I've been complaining about for like probably 10 seasons now. That like it is way too easy to control your own destiny when it comes to the draft order. And I completely acknowledge the original intention behind the new anti-tank rules that were, I can't even say new, the anti-tank rules that were implemented. But there still needs to be a degree of randomness, I believe, to mitigate this. And that's obviously acknowledged by that statement at the end that they are acknowledging or discussing some changes for the following drafts that will be coming soon. TM.
Yeah, I
So
think the problem was they literally said that if you want pick 1, you can take these exact steps
exactly,
and do it. And
exactly.
we've seen teams do that. I've done it.
I've seen you do it.
Minnesota's done it very
I've
effectively.
seen you do it. You
But
did it.
it took the randomness out and said, like, you can get this exact result if you take these steps, and the steps you were taking weren't something the league wanted to contribute towards, so it was an unintentional consequence, and maybe a hope that people would focus on the spirit of the SHL rather than the game side of the SHL. But I do think that a little randomness helps in that endeavor to try to get people just doing their best rather than focusing on getting that pick 1.
Hif, what do you call a fish that wears a bow tie?
What do you call a fish that wears a bow tie?
Sophisticated. Amelia threw that one at me earlier. It's pretty good.
If it's an Amelia joke, there you go. That's great. Fantastic job, Amelia.
I was asked to tell that joke on this stream tonight, so here we are.
10 out of 10.
It was great. So let's go ahead and move on. I don't know, I really want to say things on this, but I will not.
I think it's good they're making changes, and I don't envy their position because it's really hard to figure out an equitable situation there.
Very appreciative of your league sanctioned opinion on this. Well done. I don't agree, and that's fine, and we're gonna move on. We have other agenda items. I want to touch on your brand. You announced an update to our branding. I say our branding, your branding.
It's a collective. All the expansion GMs.
I mean, honestly, at this point, with how many changes and how much time I've spent looking at your logos, I'm going to say R as well. I like them. I really enjoy your brand. I've told multiple people before, Hif doesn't have a full Norse mythology sleeve tattoo. I do. Like, why does he get the inside curve?
What I will say, hold on,
Norse mythology
give me 1 second here.
Tattoos. All right.
Oh no, I don't need a second. I can show you my keychain here, which has a Mjolnir on it.
That doesn't. I have. What is that? That's not. What?
I'm just saying. It's from a
apples to apples
in Denmark. I'm just saying. Did you
get
your tattoo in Denmark?
Born in Denmark.
You're not your grandmother. It doesn't count.
Oh my god. Unbelievable. Anyways, let's go.
You could have done it too. You chose something about.
No, you had your brand immediately, and I was like, "Fuck!" Like I have to do.
First of all, let's clarify things because I initially came to you and said I'm putting a team in Mexico City, and then I was like, "Why would I not do this? This is so awesome. I love everything about this."
Oh, yes, I didn't have my shit figured out fast enough, and you did, and I'm like, "Fuck, that's such a good idea. That's such a good idea." So I gotta fix this. There we go. Oh no, this is not the right.
Those are expansion stadium series jerseys.
Sorry. Where is there?
What you can do is you can just pull up our info page. It has all the stuff.
Let's do it.
Shout out Surreal, made those jerseys.
Oh yeah, there we go. We got the new icons here on the site. That looks so good. I haven't seen those yet.
You passed it.
Did I?
No, down. Yep.
Oh, there you are.
LMNOP.
I mean, honestly, yeah. Expecting us New Englanders to know the alphabetical order, it's not gonna happen. Casual Saturday Ace crash out. Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Surreal, love those. Surreal, answer my DM. You may have, and I just ignored you. That's fine. So here you are. You have the updated branding for Madison. So love that. And the fact that you can't see the leg anymore isn't a big deal because it goes behind the V. So it's fine. I can't complain about that anymore. That's great.
Show leg doesn't exist. Yeah, the movement was killed. But yeah, basically the initial artist we had, we kind of just decided that he was mailing it in and maybe didn't have the talent of the logo we were looking for. So Alex graciously offered to cover half. We got a new artist, and it was a significantly better process. He's also the same person who did the secondary, so we got him to just touch up the secondary and fix a couple things, like making the outline pointy and symmetrical. But the primary is where the massive difference is. Everything about it is significantly better. I had a bunch of people help me, like Monk and Kari and Surreal and Ramen. I had him in a group chat and locked him in a basement. Alex was also there. And like Kari had the great idea to put the V in so it didn't look like the Pegasus was just coming out of nowhere. And yeah, I just think it's a lot better. The highlighting, there's no black; it's a darker purple. Kept a lot of the elements we liked from the last one, but some really subtle, interesting, good ones. I think, like the brooch for the cape. That's the Wisconsin flower. It's the wood violet. Yeah, big fan of the change. I love it. Yeah.
No, I think it's a lot better. You have her literally wearing the same helmet that is in the alternate logo.
Yeah,
Which
because
I
the same guy made it. So I'm just like, just throw it on there.
really
It's
like that a
awesome.
lot. Yeah. I will have you know that Vikings did not wear helmets with wings or like horns on them.
Valkyries are not Vikings. Let's get that out of the way.
So that's fine. But yeah, I really like it. And the only way it could be improved is if she was biting a hockey stick.
I think she and the Pegasus would both have to be biting a hockey stick. Would be
That's a good point.
The peak version of it.
That's a good point.
We did also get a Stadium Series logo that's under that. If you wanted to show that,
I don't.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Surreal. Ace hates you. Don't answer his DMs anymore.
No, we can look at it real quick. Hold on. We're running out of time, and I want to make sure we touch on the questions that I've ignored for like a few episodes. So here we go. We do have that logo here.
Yeah, it's just the top is the city skyline on the isthmus, which is the teal to water, the wood violet in the center, and then the I think it's the Chohunk Nation, the indigenous original inhabitants. Let me just pull it up to check so I'm getting the right. The Ho-Chunk Nation, apologies. There were 12 of them, 12 tribes, originally in Madison, Wisconsin. So it's their ancestral land, and their pattern is recognized 12 times on the bottom of the tertiary logo with the web of word around the logo on the outside. Surreal did an amazing job, so just wanted to give him his flowers. Amazing job, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, it's a great job. I mean, I love the multifaceted like meaning behind this logo, and I feel like this would be a really good like shoulder logo or like a patch.
Well, if you scroll down,
shoulder.
it's on the shoulder.
Oh,
it's on the not those ones. It's on
doesn't look it there. Yeah, you should probably put one right
on the
here.
silver jerseys.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There it is. With the wings over the chest. Yep. I really like that vibe. That's really cool.
Yeah, he made these jerseys as well. It's
what's the piping here? Is that
so those are Norse runes? There's a specific one. I put it in the thing.
These are crispy jerseys here.
Yeah.
Black pants though. Get rid of the gray pants.
Hey, you can argue with Surreal. Again, it's
Surreal. I'm a black pants guy. Sorry, dude.
So those are the Elder Futhark Viking runes.
What was that?
Elder Futhark.
Futhark, huh?
Futhark you, man.
Lime, gray pants, no gray pants. Get the gray pants out of here. Unbelievable. Yeah, so make sure you buy your tickets to see the Madison Valkyries at the SHL Tonight Thunderdome. I think that would be a great time for you and your family.
And the mascot is an angry and aroused Hodag.
He's very aroused, according to the
Angroused
people.
is the term we're using.
So we do have some questions here from some wonderful listeners. So the first question we have is from Patrick. Topic we failed to cover decently last night. Do you feel scoring is up significantly in the SHL in FHM 10 versus FHM 8? And which stats would you and HIF look at to make a conclusion on it?
We
If it
actually had
is
this
or isn't?
covered in GM chat like 2 days ago. I think we got the charts here. I don't know if you want to pull them up, but Juke did some Corey got Juke to do some deep dive stats on it. Shots per game are down a little bit, and goals per game are down very slightly, but shots per game have reduced significantly, which is why the it's about like 2 shots per game on average, which is why you're seeing the decrease in save percentage, because they're scoring about the same, they're just shooting less with higher quality shots, which is a lot of the changes we're seeing in the sim stats as well.
Yeah, and candidly, this implies that I would spend a lot of time looking at stats, and I'm not currently GMing a team, and
No,
I'm
it's in the GM chat. It's just there.
yeah, I'm not honestly, Patrick. Like, I really appreciate like the implication that I would look at these things, but I'm not. I'm not spending the time to
Ace
look.
is a bum. Someone replace him as expansion. We're not even looking at the stats.
I'm not going to do that. Do you think the leagues, the SHL and the J, would benefit from a weekly game stream that is interactive for fans? Polls, predictions, anytime goal scorer, etc. Um, I think that would be awesome. I think like future state, like being able to do that, throwing a poll up while you are streaming and that kind of stuff would be super, super cool. It's not imminent. It's not something that's going to happen anytime soon, but I do think something like that would be so fun. You could even put up like predictions, like what team is going to win this game, and you can use channel points in order to predict those games here, right here on
I
Twitch.
think
So
that you would need someone doing the streaming side for the simmer simultaneously, because that's a lot of stuff to put on the simmer to remember. You'd need like someone, he's going to do a live sim. I'm going to put up predictions, who you're going to predict, and go from there. But apparently
uh,
Lime already does it. So yeah.
he already puts up polls sometimes when he streams. That's great. Like that's the idea. So I will to update everybody here that we have officially reached affiliate status on Twitch. So that's a very, very exciting. I haven't had a chance to go ahead and look into what we can set up. But we are looking into next steps there on what that will look like. So that's very, very exciting. We have one other question before we wrap up here. We have a question from Bytor. I'm going to throw it over to you first, Tiff. I'm not to put you on the spot, but what teams are surprising you so far in season 82? Good surprise or bad surprise in the SHL?
Yeah, we'll do one of each. Good surprise, Edmonton. They're playing definitely punching above their weight so far. I've touched on a bit of the reasons. I think like their shooting percentages off the freaking charts, and Justin Time is playing like a man who does not believe in the power of aging and regression. Montreal, I thought they were going to be top 2-3 team in the league for sure. Slow start definitely happened, but they have all the pieces. They've been picking it up of late. But yeah, they've definitely been my disappointing team so far, even if they're on a clear upswing at the moment.
Yeah, I think my biggest surprise is Los Angeles playing as well as what they have. I definitely thought that Los Angeles would take a little bit of a step, or like more of a step back than what they have. So kudos to the LA Panthers there for doing so well. And I think my biggest surprise with how poorly a team is doing is probably, I feel like, Montreal. I felt like Montreal would probably be a little bit more dominant at this point. But obviously things haven't quite worked out that way. It's not that they have a bad record. They're right there in the hunt of it. I mean, they're ninth overall, but I did have them as one of the top teams going into the season. So those are my two picks for
My
that.
weird sim stat though is that if you look at the West, the top 4 teams in the West are all in the Pacific.
Mm. Yeah, it's true. It was a little peculiar. That'd make fun in the playoffs here for the West. So Godspeed to those in that division. That'll be a wonderful time. Keep an eye out for next year. Or though, is it no? This year it's starting with the 1v8.
The reseed 1v8. Yep.
Interesting.
New playoff formats coming.
Really fascinating to keep an eye on. So that's going to go over our agenda for tonight. We are officially over 1 hour here. So we really appreciate all of your listenership, your questions. What are you saying?
Pay us money for the hour podcast.
Give us money. Yeah. Pay us out. I don't post these for me and Hiv because we have enough money. But we probably could claim money on it. But anyway, really appreciate everyone's listenership. We're going to be back next week going over everything, more power rankings,
playoff predictions.
Playoff predictions will be coming up. Yes,
playoffs.
We're talking playoffs. That'll be a lot of fun. And until then, we will catch you next time. So on behalf of the SHL broadcast team, we will catch you then. Peace.